What's up, you guys? Welcome back to this week's Manga Sutra Manga review, and in this week's video, we're going to be talking about a psychological school life drama called Chi no Wadachi. Now, Chi no Wadachi follows the mother-son relationship of our main character, Seiichi Osabe, and his mother, Seiko. Now, this is created by the same person who wrote and illustrated Happiness. Now, if you don't know anything about Oshimi Shuuzou, is that he is a genius at creating not only artistically beautiful manga, but manga that have very dark and twisted plots. And I think that's really all you need to know about Chi no Wadachi. But if you're still watching, the manga focuses on Seiichi's relationship and his closeness to his mother, and how it has a negative and deteriorating effect on him. And this effect can be seen from the beginning to later on in the manga. We see at the beginning that Seiichi is this outgoing kid. He's happy, he has a crush, he has a best friend, and he has friends at school. And around later chapters in the manga, we see that he begins to lose these things, and that he begins to develop a lot of negative traits in his behavior and his characteristics and his personality. And this can mostly be attributed to his mother, Seiko. And I'm just going to be honest, I've read a lot of horror mangas. I've read a lot of horror manga that have a lot of gore. I've read survival horror mangas. I've read, zombie apocalypse type of horror mangas, and so on and so forth. I've been through the ringer, but Chi no Wadachi doesn't have a horror tag, but I feel that Chi no Wadachi is the creepiest manga I have ever read. And I mean that because Seiko, Seiichi's mother, she is this mystery. And what I mean by that is, at the beginning of the manga, she's portrayed as this angelic, innocent, serene, motherly figure that is just benevolent all around and can do no wrong. But at the same time, and is perfectly portrayed in the artwork and the art style around her design, in her smile and the way it focuses on her eyes and her lips and everything like that. You can see the serenity of the smile. You can see the outward appearance of innocence and serenity and motherly love. But you can't put your finger on it, but you know that there's something darker beneath the surface. And, as the chapters go by, we see with Seiko that she slowly begins to unravel. She slowly begins to become more and more destabilized. And instead of this motherly, protective figure that we see at the beginning of the manga, we see more and more of this malevolent, mysterious woman that we are starting to figure out more and more that we hardly know anything about her. And at various points in the manga, she does a lot of very unsettling things. And what makes Chi no Wadachi so creepy and so scary to me is because it's so realistic. Mental illness is a thing that happens in a lot of households. It happens to a lot of our families all around the world. And a lot of us are close to our parents. A lot of us look up to our parents. A lot of us depend on our parents, and we view them as our guardians, our protectors, our confidants, our friends. And the relationship that Seiichi has with his mother, Seiko, it is very unusual and is very toxic. And Seiichi just finds himself in this downward spiral to destruction. And I found myself, as I'm reading the manga, just screaming at the pages to just get out of there. Just leave. You know that this is toxic. Anyone in their right mind would be getting out of there. But you have to consider that this is a young boy who has been doted on by his mother for ever since he could remember. And her relationship to him is very close. And you can see throughout the manga that Seiko uses that closeness that she knows that her son has for her, and she manipulates him with it. And she twists his brain over and over and over again until it's like jelly. And I think it's creepy and it's horrifying because that is something that you know happens in the real world. That you know that there are parents out there that abuse their children. That there are parents out there that have these toxic relationships with their kids and, you know, prey upon their own children. The art style, like I said, it's Oshimi Shuuzou. He is one of the greatest manga artists I've ever seen. And I really think that his art style for Chino Wadachi really brings out the creepiness of Seiko. It really brings out the emotions that Seiichi has. And it also hits you like a train. It hits you like a truck in some of these panels in the manga involving other characters like his best friend or his crush or so on and so forth as the manga goes down the line. The way the facial expressions are written in Chino Wadachi, it capitalizes on that. And I think the manga tries to tell the story more through its facial expressions than it does through dialogue and conversation between Seiichi or his mother or, you know, his crush or anybody else. It tells it more through facial expressions and actions rather than dialogue. I would recommend reading Chino Wadachi. It is by far one of the most creepiest psychological manga I have ever read. And isn't something that's just over the top. It doesn't try so hard to just hit you with a million things going a mile per hour. But at the same time, it's a slow and gradual build-up. And a lot of the things that happen in the manga are subtle. And that's where the psychological aspect of it is. And that's where it truly holds a lot of weight. Because it's subtle. It's realistic. A lot of us can relate to this to some extent. A lot of us can find ourselves in this type of situation with people we know, with people we care about, with our own parents, our own siblings, so on and so forth. And I don't know. I mean, I just think Chino Wadachi is truly a disturbing manga from a psychological point of view of mother and son. And I would definitely recommend anybody just giving it a try. It is really worth it. I'm also going to be doing a video in the future about the top 5 manga that I think are aesthetically pleasing or has the best art style or artwork. But this is VM. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.